Ready to roll? All right, welcome everybody to the Selma City Council Special Meeting Public Hearing, June 24th, 2025. It's 5 p.m. in the Selma City Council Chambers at 1710 Tucker Street, Selma, California. Teleconference phone number is 301-715-8592. The webinar ID is 891-6864-5005. When on the phone, if you wish to address the council during the public comment portion of the agenda, press star 9 to raise your hand, and we will select you from the meeting queue. Press star 6 to unmute and mute yourself. Notice to meeting attendees, members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of threatening or abusive language or other acts which disturb, disrupt, or impede or otherwise render the orderly conduct of a city council meeting infeasible. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Avalos.
Here.
Councilmember Oseguera.
Here.
Councilmember Trujillo. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
Mayor Robertson.
Here. Potential conflicts of interest. Any council member who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Oral communications. At this time, any member of the
Mr.
public.
Mayor, may I interrupt just for a moment?
You may.
You don't have an addition or deletion section on this special agenda because it's a special agenda, but I wanted to propose that you add to a closed session following the open session, put an item for potential litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, 2 cases that involve significant exposure to liability. And that requires a 4/5 vote to add that to the agenda.
Thank you, council. Is there any discussion before I call for a motion to add these 2 items to closed session? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Avalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera.
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo. Absent. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes. With that, we will add those 2 items for closed session this evening, which will occur after our public hearing item, draft budget. We'll now move on to oral communications. At this time, any member of the public may address the city council regarding any item on the regular meeting agenda over which the council has jurisdiction, special meeting agenda actually. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the city manager for review. Members of the public are asked to limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Anybody with a comment at this time? Anybody online or on the phone with anything to say?
Mayor, I see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you. With that, we'll bring the matter back and move on to our one and only public hearing item tonight, which is the consideration of a resolution 2025-45R adopting the 2025-2026 City of Selma fiscal year budget and consideration of a resolution 2025-46R adopting the city's annual appropriations limit for fiscal year 2025-2026 pursuant to Article 13B of the California Constitution. This item has been continued from the public hearing on June 17, 2025. Director Moreno.
Yes, Mayor Robertson, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra, and members of the council. So before you is our continued from our council meeting on 6/17. Before you is the revised budget as requested by council. We did the following changes. We froze the economic development director position, as well removed the animal director and also added the PIO position. Of that, all those changes did bring us into a surplus of $44,000. Again, before you is the attached budget with the revisions.
Thank you for doing that. This is a public hearing item, so we will open the public hearing to the public. Does anyone in the public have any questions or comments at this time, whether for or against the adoption of the budget for 2025-2026 fiscal year? Anybody online or on the phone with a comment at this time?
Mayor, I don't have anybody online.
Great, thank you. With that, we will close the public hearing and bring the matter back to council. Does council have any comments or any questions at this time?
I have a question. I just want to clarify on a couple of on your flow chart here for administration and the entire body. In regards to our code enforcement officers, do we still have a total of 2 for the city of Selma?
Yeah, yes, Councilmember Guerra.
Okay. And then for our positions under the administrative services, human resource, information technology, payroll, and risk management, are all these positions filled currently?
No, they are not. There's the 2 new requested in the budget for this year. We have 1 vacancy as our office assistant submitted resignation and went to another city. So we have, of those, there are 3 filled, 1 vacant, and 2 new requests.
I have a question. The office assistant position wasn't filled? Because I saw it on the website that it was being ever and then it disappeared.
Correct. So it was a recruitment because we had a person that was in that position who resigned. So we flew that position for a currently budgeted allocated position. And I've asked for additional office assistant in the new fiscal year for a total of 2 office assistants.
Right, but somebody's in the front, and what happened to that position that we were requesting for the office assistant, the one,
So the 1 person resigned,
right?
so she went somewhere else. The person who is up front is actually from a different department. I'm accommodating a light duty assignment.
Okay, so we really didn't fill that position.
Correct.
Questions? Question for the chief, PD chief. Chief Alcarez, the Animal Services Director position was eliminated and that salary was taken out with a pretty substantial savings. However, we need to take care of our animals, and we're all on the same page there. In terms of how, I don't really see that affecting the current staffing because that was an unfilled position. I think the writing was on the wall for that position to be eliminated. Is the animal shelter in a position right now to cover all of the things that need to be covered at this time with the staffing, or are you still recruiting?
Currently, we're not recruiting, Mayor. We're still looking to reorganize positions. We really truly need an office manager,
Okay.
like for data entry, things of that nature, to coordinate outreach, coordinate adoptions, things of that nature. I think we spoke a little bit about that.
You did.
We were just waiting to kind of nail some things down. Unfortunately, when we spoke, it was very busy. I went on vacation. I am back. So if we could sit down and talk to nail down a few more things. We've talked through some things with staff to see how we can better reorganize, and maybe we can sit down we would need to sit down and talk to see what aligns with the goals and objectives that you all are looking for, as well as
We're part of that ad hoc committee. Councilman Oseguera and
Yeah.
I think I speak for him. We're be more than happy to sit down and take it to the next stage. So I know we had a very good discussion on where we need to go from here, and even talking about potentially taking this out and putting this under another department with 1 or 2 positions retained by the police department. But we're not there yet. I think we need to keep discussing.
yeah, I think
that.
there's a few more discussions, Mayor, just to make sure we can bring you some ideas that we've had in speaking with our HR director, and then just kind of throwing different ideas out there on how we become creative with staff. I should say become creative, how we can hire personnel to be able to accomplish all those goals that don't create more liability for us as a city. So I think that another conversation, I'll reach out tomorrow morning. I'll email you and Councilmember Oseguera to see when we can schedule that time to sit down and then see how you feel about that. And if that looks good, then we'll move forward on nailing down those job descriptions and how they work within the alignment that you're looking
To
at.
reiterate, we didn't eliminate the position because we wanted to take away any care from the animals. We just wanted to make it even more effective,
Correct.
for the
Correct.
for the shelter.
It's a new program, Mayor, right? like everything, we're always looking at different ways to streamline efficiencies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else with a question?
Yeah, on the capital improvements, I noticed, you have it down for,
What page is that, Jim?
oh, that's the beginning when they said capital improvements, what it's for. I noticed that they had it down for, parks, streets and minor, but in the capital improvements, back then, we had it in the Measure K. Capital improvements were, there's a part in there for the, parks and also, well, recreation. It was recreation and also parks and recreation and also art center. There's a percentage that goes into recreation and another part, a percentage goes into the art center. Um, Can we, I'm looking at trying to revise that area or market that area to change the dynamics in that particular area because next council meeting, I'll bring some evidence what needs to be done in that art center as far as improvement. It needs a little help. So I think that particular art center, maybe some chips, some little more money into the art center and also marketing it better to the outsides. Well, let's say marketing it better for the art center. I think we need, in the past, we used to market it and we had it wasn't in the negative. So by marketing it, I think we could put it in the positive. I have a pretty good idea in the past that did that because I was part of that history. So I think that area needs a little help. And I think we can probably ship some money in the advertisement to our marketing area to help that facilitate some of those issues. That's what I'm looking at. Next council, I'll show you where the areas that need to be facilitated as far as.
I'm looking at the budget right now, the page 399, the TOT allocation,
Yeah.
and it looks like there's
There's
50% is to parks,
Yeah.
30% is to recreation, and 20% is to art.
20% on the arts.
Are you gonna be looking to change the percentage
Yeah, I'm gonna
allocation
look at the
potentially?
percentage on that, maybe at 21%, 21.5 to offset, to market it better.
There you go.
Because, in Central Valley now, we are technically, Selma is now the art center of the valley now, basically, because there's no other art center.
You guys stayed after the graduation on Friday to look at the art center.
I think we can market that art centers to open it up to the public so that we can generate revenue. I think with the right tools and everything, I know we can.
I think there are some issues to explore about the art center.
Yeah.
That may affect the order of improvements in the art center.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's a lot to
Well,
this.
there's been neglect over the years on that particular item.
Okay. Councilman Oscar?
I was just gonna say, we went through and Jim's gonna bring you a lot of pictures and he is right. It's in really bad shape. I mean, the carpet hasn't been cleaned in 5 years. It's got rips in, it's torn. The walls are all scratched up, needs to be repainted. We went downstairs and they're using the what is it, those mirrors? To makeup mirrors and stuff. They're from the 1920s, I think. Ugly. They're changing areas. They're just like, they just a covering, we want to, this is the crown jewel of the art center anywhere. There's nowhere else anywhere that offers what they offer here. And, when people come from out of town or even people here, they always say, it's not a good look, so that's what he's referring to. We need help. I know we're gonna need more money and help, so he's gonna bring some pictures for you guys to see next meeting. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this public hearing item and to approve the fiscal year budget for 2025, 2026?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera,
Yes,
Mayor Robertson.
Yes, and I want to thank Director Moreno for making those changes from the last meeting. Really appreciate you working with us and making these even better. I think the police chief has let us know about the Malcolm Gladwell quote about the broken windows. Just one can affect how people see their city. Seeing a deficit, even if it's $60 or at the 100 or 60,000, I think that creates an impression as well, and really appreciate you being part of making sure that we have a surplus in this budget this year. We always want to be the good stewards of the people's money, and I think this is a really good start.
I have a question for city attorney. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know that the breakup of we were talking about the TOT and the Measure K monies. That wasn't a resolution. Can we just,
That's a measure. You asked about putting that on a future agenda.
well,
We can't put it on a future agenda unless you want to
We
have
can
a
make changes.
resolution, putting it back on the ballot and getting them to change their apportionment of where the money goes. Because that's an adopted measure approved by the voters, which you can't change.
but I don't
Voters.
think the voters approved what the percentages were gonna be.
They approved the measure in total,
It can't.
and the measure proposed that, you know, a certain percentage went to parks and recreation, a certain percentage went to,
Pablo's has a plan.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you for that.
but
We have-
you can change it. You just have to put it on the ballot and let the voters approve it.
That's right. One,
Last oral communications. Anybody have anything to say? Anybody online or on the phone before we recess into closed session?
one more.
I have no one
I
online,
have a
Mayor.
comment.
All right, Councilmember.
Well, Public Works over there, Han, can you connect with the chief down there? He needs some help in the locker room.
We're looking at Councilmember Avalos. I think we can find something freestanding.
You got it all figured out in that
Yes,
locker
sir.
room?
We're just looking for something that matches our decorum. So, but
Okay.
we'll do it so it's freestanding so we don't have to bother Public Works.
Okay.
They're busy as it is. Thank you.
All right, man. Hey, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna check.
Well, we're looking to get the right decorum.
Okay, I'm
Yes, sir.
just gonna check.
We're on.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you for that. With that, we will recess the special meeting, public hearing, and we will go into closed session, and we will stay here for that closed session. Thank you for everything, you guys. Thanks for coming out tonight.